Powers and duties of the referee. Who's in charge? Period. The referee is in charge, period. The referee is in charge from the time that he or she gets out of their car until the time that he or she gets back in their car and go motoring down the parkway. Players can be sent off prior to a game starting. Very surprised to have it happen, but it happens. If a team of 11 players has one of their players sent off prior to the first whistle, does that team play with 11 players or 10? Trick question. Does the team play with 11 or 10 players? They just had one sent off before the game started. Yep, they still play with 11. Operative word there is the game has not yet started. If the ball has been touched or played, they play with 10. Yes, sir.
Unless he was the 11th player.
Good point.
Some teams only can field 11 players.
Mike's lucky to have 9 sometimes. But bear in mind that your powers and duties extend across the field, down to the end of the field, to the parking lot, if you will. One of the things that you need to take into consideration as a referee is, and you'll be told this several times, you're the only professional out there. Coach A is not getting paid to do the game. Coach A's players are not getting paid to play the game. Coach B is, they wouldn't pay him anyway, but he's not being paid, neither are his players. You are the only one being, you and your ARs, assistant referees, are the only ones that are actually professionals. Who's the youngest in here? And I'm not it. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14? I'm 12. Cool, 12. We have a 12. We'll have a 12-year-old professional. Does that freak you out?
Yes.
But it's true. If you'll act like a professional, you'll be a professional. If you seek a different route, no, you won't be. You won't act like one, you won't get the respect of one either. If you act and look the part, if you get out of your vehicle or get dropped off, since at 12 you're not driving much,
Hopefully.
and your shirt's untucked, and you haven't got shoes on, you're carrying them, and you're just kind of walking around, and you go, hey, I'll catch up with you in a minute. And the coach looks at you and he goes, what in the heck have I got here? As opposed to somebody that comes in with their referee shirt on, nice and tucked in, socks pulled up right, clean, and the uniform that doesn't look like maybe slept in it the night before. We have several that we still have to tease about that. It looks like they slept in their referee uniform the night before because it's been stuffed in a bag someplace. Look the part. You're getting paid handsomely. Even at first grade level at what, $14?
First grade 12.
All right, I just gave you a raise. $12 at a game that lasts 40 minutes. So that's about $16, $18 an hour to get in technical terms, because everybody's job usually pays them by the hour or by the week, or Brad gets paid by what he does, so he doesn't have much money. That's the other thing. I have a placard, and I'm trying to remember the exact verbiage on it, and handed out to the last class we did in the spring. You don't get paid for what you do, you get paid for what you're willing to do. There's a difference between those two. if you're, like before I asked you guys about the black and white decision, yes or no answers and stuff like that. If you're willing to do that and do it right, then on up the ladder you go. You'll be doing the 6th and 7th age or 6th and 7th grade games and stuff like that. If you don't, if you show up and do the bare minimum, we've had quite a controversy over the fact that it takes a score of 80 on a 100-question test to be a referee here. That's kind of a high standard. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And if I had my way about it, it would be 90, but I got vetoed on 90. I don't think there's anything wrong with the information that's on your little workbook when you get done, that you should know what you're doing. That this is an indirect kick. And John's going to give him a purple card instead of a red card or a yellow card. You should know this. This is the basic stuff. Again, meat and potatoes, no gravy. We have all of the education that more than anybody else will give you as far as the referee curriculum goes. Did I say that one right? One for me. If you'll just give back what you get. I made a concerned or a concentrated. There's a bunch of words that I'll throw together. I come up with at least 5 or 6 brand new words every time I do one of these. It's more fun that way. I mean, Webster can start his dictionary, so one of these days we'll have a Gorgonary. Who knows? But to be able to go out and master the rules, the interpretation of same, and be able to deliver the answer to that in a positive manner, what's not to like? If you referee and don't have fun at this, go see a psychiatrist. This is fun stuff. First of all, if I'm doing the middle of the game, who's got the best seat in the house? I do. I've got the best of both worlds. I'm now getting paid to do something I love dearly, and I've got the best seat in the house. Could it get that much better? Some of the best compliments you'll get come from losing coaches. You find that hard to believe? They understand. They understand. It's if you do 50 games a season, I will bet you $1 gazillion that none of you will score a goal. None of you will prevent a goal being scored. Yes. I've also been I'm a reform coach. I'm not a referee. But I've had games where, talking to the parents, my parents afterwards, they said, well, the referee cost us the game. I said, no, I'm sorry, the referee didn't cost us the game. Your sons or your daughters weren't able to put the ball in the back of the net or prevent the other team from scoring. That's what cost us the game. So the losing coach of a 1-0, 2-1 game, something like that, comes up to you and says, great job. Put that in your smile pocket and keep it, because it'll come back many, many times for you. Now the ones that want an alibi or want a way out of the situation, oh, you cost us the game, ref. I did. Did I put more goals in for the other team than I did for you? They're wanting an excuse, and that's fine. The best thing you can do in a situation like that is say thank you and turn around and walk away. You know the difference. There's 17 laws, 18 if you count common sense. Being a referee is simple. All you have to know is the interpretation of all 17 laws, preempt those with the usage of common sense first and be right every time. Render a decision in about 3/4 of a second. Can that possibly be difficult?
Nothing to it.
Nothing to it. Nothing to it. Believe it or not, even though it's been a gazillion games that I've done, I can remember the first time I put the whistle in my mouth and started a soccer game. Very neat feeling to be in control of the whole situation. And you can look at it one of two ways. You can either be intimidated by it, or you can take the bull by the proverbial horns and master the moment in the situation. You've got your choice. As you saw Brad walk up to the coach and stuck his hand out and said, "Hey, I'm Brad Wagner, I'm doing your game today." If you'll make a tiny little dialogue and get a couple of words going back and forth and maybe a head nod, some coaches, that's about all they're capable of. Cut that out, okay? But you understand what I'm saying. If you have the confidence, you've got 80% of it done. It's in the bag. It's in the book. We're waiting for the third whistle. Game's over. Did anybody watch the last FC Dallas game on TV where Ferrer broke his ankle? Pretty nasty, huh? Can't begin to tell you the number of broken appendages, legs, arms, collarbones, and stuff that have happened in games that I've officiated. And I hurt just as bad as the players do. No, as we preface this whole thing, your first job totally is safety. I don't care if that field is 1.5 feet wide and 900 miles long. You still have to be safe about it. You still can't have broken glass. You still can't have holes in the field. You can't have a sprinkler head sticking out of it like we did over here on Cheyenne not too far into the season this spring. It's still job one safety. That rests on your shoulders. You are bound by it. Your code of ethics will tell you, I must inspect this field. If you have the 8 o'clock match, by the way, you're required by PSA law to be there 30 minutes prior. It used to be 15. What happened to 15? Your brothers and sisters in refereedom decided that they'd show up about 6:10 or about 4:10, or come running on to the game about time that it's fixing to start. One of the ARs had taken the position of being the referee. You come up to my field and you're supposed to be in the middle, and I'm taking the liberty to start it, you're not taking the game back from me. In fact, as we will talk severely after it's over. You are a professional. You're getting paid to do a professional job. And PSA, oddly enough, expects it. Problem with that? None. If there is, there's the door. Anybody want to leave now? Okay, see you. Oh. If you'll spend a little bit of time, and there are, there's got to be 35 or 40 different places on the internet where you can see the laws of the games in black and white. You can read it at your own speed. You don't have to have somebody up here saying, okay, make sure you, that thing about the shin guards, that will be on the test, by the way. That's why I said it.